Get that off there.
Live from the Mainstream Cannabis Media Empire, I'm Travis Lippert, CEO of Veedverks Unlimited Limited, better known as Veedverks.
And I'm Michael Miller, International Director of PanaceaLife.com, CBD manufacturer here in Louisville, Colorado.
I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. We missed last week. Something was just off last week because we didn't do our show.
Yeah, it really was kind of off. We were at Expos, right? Yeah. So last Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we were at MJ for MDs, or Marijuana for Medical Professionals.
How was that?
It was fantastic.
What was it like?
It was a ton of. I'll tell you what. If you're a single person and you want to go meet a bunch of smart, good-looking people who like weed, that is the place to go.
Dang, no wonder you didn't invite
across
me.
all age brackets. No. Yeah, they rejected me at the door.
Yeah, no, come on.
But then we had the Champs trade show, which was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then we had the Millennium Grown event. We had signs for the Times and the Nuvolution Lunch and Learn, and then we had the Connoisseur Cup. Pottoberfest on Sunday. It was a long week.
You did a lot of stuff. Yeah. I went to the Champs Expo Wednesday, half a day Wednesday and Thursday. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was lightly attended, and
very much so.
It wasn't like it was last time, so I can't say I'll be rushing to break out my checkbook when they come calling to get a booth.
I hear the Las Vegas one though is one of the top CBD expos in the country.
I heard
one
that.
of them.
Yeah. I think they've probably cannibalized a little bit of their own business. Plus, I mean, what we're doing is working. We're getting this legalized in other states, and you know what? Some of those states they've got things like Las Vegas in them.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a sign of our success in what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, good things are happening.
Yeah. Today we've got Karl Keich, the founder of Canna Consulting, on the show. He also founded Seattle's oldest dispensary, the Medical Marijuana Association, and has transitioned into the state-regulated recreational adult use cannabis industry as the Pot Stop. And he has established a reputation as one of the industry's top shelf dispensaries in the state of Washington, according to reviews from Weed Maps and Google and Yelp. And Karl's dispensary was just awarded the best dispensary in Washington by Leafly.
Yay! Congratulations! Yeah. I mean, that's big. That's big.
Yeah.
You're involved in extraction and lab testing and edibles and dosing and infused product development. You belong to all NCIA, NCCC, Washington Cannabis Alliance, Marijuana Business Association of Washington, Americans for Safe Access, Normal, MPP, Project CBD, Florida. I feel like a loser.
I know.
I was just talking to you about how busy I was last week. I don't do anything.
I know.
Holy crap.
Look at that. It's just insane.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome,
Thanks,
Karl.
Guys. No, I appreciate you having me, man. My pleasure, you guys.
Wow, Karl, how long have we known each other now? I remember exactly where we met, when we met. Well, not when, I wouldn't be asking you, but what, 6 years, 7 years almost?
I think it was down at the Washington Trade Center years ago.
Well, it was at the horse track, the first MJ BizCon.
Yep, that was. I think back in 2013 is when that one was. It was 2012. But that just as I hear you guys reading my resume and all the crazy organizations that I belong to, pretty much everything and anything cannabis, just kind of like yourself, Travis, it really behooves you to hang out with your peers. Listen to the industry, get the heartbeat of the industry, see what everyone else around you is doing, and work collaboratively with like-minded people to accomplish all of your goals. And, that's kind of been one of the keys to my success is just, being, one of the people and networking with my peers and, always pursuing excellence, pursuing the best products, the best, methodologies, the best, the best of the best of the best. Michael, you know me, man.
You know what? I can verify that. You should go to his dispensary. I have never seen in my life. And I was there when he got deliveries before, where if there's a jar, I don't care if there's 50 jars, every nugget, it looks that big, okay, and they're all the same. You know, it's not these little nugs like that you see these days. Man, the best I've ever had in my life was you provided for me.
Well, thank you, Michael.
Medicine.
And you know, a lot has changed since those days, man. That was the days of medical back in Washington State.
Yep.
And, you know, that's where I was at my best. It was a totally, you know, this is back, like I said, you know, 6, 7, 8 years ago, but in a totally unregulated marketplace where we had what we called our providers that were growing for patients that had extra cannabis that would bring it to the dispensary, and we would make a donation to them. And so you know, at that point in time, you know, I'd have people stopping by with garbage bags full of product, and
right.
You know, there were no, you know, limits. It was like, you know, it was really an opportunity to get in there and handpick.
Right, which you did.
And that's it, man. I would cherry pick it all and get the best of the best of the best for my people. And, you know, that just goes to speak to having a good inventory, you know. If it was good enough, I would never say no to good quality cannabis, you know, because if I didn't get it in my dispensary, they're going to go down the road and sell it to the other one. But, you know, the market's changed, you know, now all my product, it's all prepackaged. I can't smell it. It's really a totally different industry. But, you know, I could go on and on and on. How much time do we have today, you guys?
As long as it takes. Is that all right?
Yeah.
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes.
Yeah. Hey, as a founder of the Seattle Medical Marijuana Association over 10 years ago, I know you've seen a lot. What is the biggest mistakes you see in our industry?
Well, that's you know, I've seen a lot of them, and you know, I've made a lot of mistakes myself, and
I love that.
you know, I've always been a kind of a guy where, you know, my word is my bond. I say I'm going to do something, I deliver. You know, I shake someone's hand, and that's the way it is. Unfortunately, not everyone in this industry is like that, and so. A lot of people talk a big game, but, you know, the proof is oftentimes in the pudding. You know, you really need to be able to deliver and do what you're going to say you're going to do. And, you know, this industry, there's a bajillion different things that can go wrong from, you know, the production side of things. You can get, you know, mites in your crop, or, you know, you could growing, the processing, there's curing. I mean, curing is one of the most important parts too. But I mean, really, you guys, I mean, that speaks more to the quality and products, you know, itself. And I could really, you know, help people with, you know, getting the right phenotypes and growing the right, you know, and curing it correctly. And I always insisted on curing cannabis in glass jars and bourbon. I mean, just old school traditional stuff. And it's hard for that to transition into, you know, this marketplace where, you know, the grows are so huge and they're using, you know, food grade plastic tubs to store stuff in. And, you know, it's just, there's a lot of challenges with growth in the industry. But, you know, I think the biggest problem people make, you guys, is, you know, trusting people's words. And, you know, when I say it's hot, you know, how do you define hot? If you say we're going to make money when it gets hot, you know, if you live in Alaska, you know, 60 degrees is hot. You know, if you live in Florida, 60 degrees is freezing. You know, so you can see by just how saying something as simple as, hey, when it gets hot, we're going to get paid. Unless you define what hot is, you know, different people can have a lot of different ideas. And so, you know, the most important thing that I would say for people to do is to get everything in writing, to get your organization structured correctly, to have, you know, good expert advice, to have, you know, attorneys help you out with everything. And, you know, if there's anywhere to spend any money, it's at the beginning of this. If you don't have the money to get into it, to pay an attorney, to get the paperwork, to get the licensing, and as you see the market evolving throughout the country, man, it's, you know, you really have to prepare from the beginning. You have to, you know, have exit clauses for your partners. You have to have termination clauses, rights of first refusal, hold periods, all these kind of fun little things that people that are in the cannabis industry, we don't really know a whole heck of a lot about. So, you know, that I think is the biggest mistake that people make in the beginning, is just, you know, everyone gets into this with the best intentions. We all want things to work, but when they don't work, unless you have some kind of a strategy or an action plan or mediation clauses built into your contracts, then that's just with your partners. I've seen things totally implode. So, that's it. It's just, doing it right from the beginning, putting a lot of thought and energy and effort into it, and having a plan for success.
What's your favorite part of the industry?
Besides the product, man, I love the product development, and I'm super, super passionate about that. I can't tell you guys how exciting it's been to see this market evolve. I remember when the first vaporizers came out, the old Atmos and the G pens, and it was like, oh man, I'm James Bond, and now we've got these, look at PAX, what they're doing in the marketplace.
I mean, they're killing it.
All these products that, concentrates. When I first started this, there was, bubble hash, the black acetone hash that you'd get, and some keef. That was it. Those are your concentrates, and, dosing, I'm right now in a state where everything is so strictly regulated. Concentrates are regulated. Edibles, you have to have a 10 milligram dosing.
Yeah.
And so, that's how it is in Washington State. It's responsible use. It's educated. You know what you're going to get. But, I remember when we all started this, and you'd get a big tray of Rice Krispies, and you didn't know what you were going to get. Dosing? I don't know. Who's going to try it first, So, I think it's been a real privilege to be involved in it. I think that, the lab testing is a really cool thing that brings a lot of validity to things.
Sure.
I remember, the days of, back in, just so many stories, you guys, but, I think that, the people, the excitement, the fact that this is a new industry, it's growing, and we all get to do something that we love to do. And, when you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. And, that's kind of been the best part about this is, the last 10 years, I've never worked so hard. Putting in 14, 16, 18, 20-hour days if necessary. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You work hard. You make some great friends. I've also lost a lot of great friendships because we didn't have things clearly defined. We kind of misunderstood things, and it cost me some very near and dear friendships. And so that's one of the saddest tragedies is that, I've lost some good friends in this. I've been screwed over by people that have stabbed me in the back that I was like, really? You're talking about being a Christian and a family person and having ethics, and then you go, run off with a couple thousand. I mean, it's just goofiest stuff I've seen people do, So, but, the people that, like yourself, Michael, just looking at all my LinkedIn and my Facebook stuff, it's like, they're all friends that are in the cannabis industry. These are all my weed homies, and, going to these conferences, that's where you're going to meet all these like-minded people. It's like, there is it's more than just you, and that was one of the challenges that, I really was a square peg in a round hole. There wasn't a lot of, highly functioning, highly medicating, I did what I could do. And, I use cannabis, from A to Z, from the minute I woke up to the moment I go to bed, and I still do. And, it's a blast. And, it's something that, medicinal, recreational, how do you define it? I mean, the conversations that we could have, you guys, about this business and this industry and, hemp and CBD and, it's just talk about an exciting evolution right there, you guys. So, man, the products and the people, it's what I love, man. It's what makes this industry so much fun.
Well, you kind of answered the next question, the more difficult parts of the industry. Anything you want to elaborate a little bit more on?
Yeah, man. I mean, in addition to, structuring your business right, I mean, the most challenging thing about this business is that the only thing for certain is change. Regulations are going to change. The marketplace is going to change. I mean, it changes and it changes and I've seen it evolve and morph. And, in Washington State, right now we're having, packaging's changing. And so, I've got to get products off my shelves within a couple months before the packaging is illegal. And it's just goofy things like that, curveballs upon curveballs upon curveballs. So you really need to be prepared. You really need to, that's why I stress being involved and knowing what's going on in the industry, having friends that are involved in the industry so you guys can kind of keep each other apprised of what's going on. But yeah, man, the industry is always changing. And, I see so many people in so many states that are, good people with good businesses, and they're failing, man. And it's just because, like in my state, there's a glut of product. There's no money in it. And when the IRS is done with you, 280E, everyone comes out and we had all these great ideas, and there's only a couple of us that have managed to succeed. So it's been rough. And that's the other thing. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Definitely isn't.
You get out of it what you put into it, and it's just kind of having the the attitude that hey, you're not going to lose, and you just got to do it, and you got to do it right, you got to do it ethically, and you got to do it and that's always been my mantra. It's like hey, if I'm going to smoke it, then it better be good. It's the best of the best, and if you provide that in the experience and the customer experience for your customers, being the Nordstrom of cannabis, that's what you want. You want a place that has everything. You want to have a $3 joint, you want to have a $10 joint, you want to have a a $15 keef infused joint, you want to do a joint that's infused with some oil. Where do you stop? It's just, you got to have it all, man. So yeah.
I love it.
What's the most important advice you would give somebody who was looking to break into the industry?
Well, think twice. Really think twice. Think long and hard. But I think it's important to have a plan, you guys. And if you have a plan, that's step one. And I would say that if you're with so many other people out there in the industry trying to do what you're not the only one doing this. Everyone else is trying to do this as well. And so how can you do this better? What can you do better? How can you specialize? How can you, specialize in having, hey man, if you're going to have bubble hash, you're the bubble hash guy. And if I need bubble hash, that's where I'm going. Vape carts, you're the vape cart. If I want some good landrace genetics, that's where find your niche, find what you're good at, specialize, and you can't do everything well. I have an attorney that does my legal work. I got 3 or 4 of them. I've got accountants and I've got CPAs that do that stuff. Farm out all the other stuff. Specialize. Do what you're really good in. That's my advice. Is just find something that you're really good at and stick to that. And it's just like having a pack spot. Everyone wants it. You got to have it. And so it's like people are coming and getting those things. And so it's like if you're the only one in the industry that has this thing, then you have some kind of an exclusivity. You have something that makes you special. If your customers want it, they got to get it from you. And so it's just that's my biggest piece of advice is just specialize, find something and do it really well, do it awesome, do it better than anyone else.
Hey, some of our viewers might be applying for a license in another state. What's your advice if they secure a license? What's the next step? I know that's a lot.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess that's the beginning step is you have to come up with your team and your plan, and you have to formulate this and come up with your plan. But once you get the license, it's like, okay, now it's go time. Now you have to implement, and now you have to figure out how do you build the castle? How do you build your empire? How are you going to do this? And so it starts with the foundation. You get your contractors and you get people that are going to build out your facility. And so, there's a lot of people that are, not cannabis experts that, the fate of your business depends on. You've got to have your HVAC all set up. You got to get your lighting set up. You got to get your nutrients. That's just the grow side. There's a whole other retail side where, you're looking at your point of sale. You're looking at your inventory management. You're looking at your security, and you're looking at, someone walking in the business with a gun? Is someone going to drive a car through the building at night and try and drive off with my inventory? There's a bajillion things that that could happen, So I would say look into all that stuff before you get your license. Obviously, you got a plan. But once you do get the license, then it's time to implement, and you don't want to make the same mistakes that I've made. You want to consult with experts that have been in the industry, and you want to find people that are credible, and don't just trust a website or a conversation that you have with someone on the phone. Man, check their references. I say that I've got a great dispensary and I'm ranked #1, and I've got I've got Google reviews, I've got Yelp reviews, they're all 5-star. It's like, those are I've been doing it so long that I've got those kind of reviews. But if you meet someone like in your state that is going to be your master grower, and maybe you smoke some of their stuff, guess what? You probably don't even know the stuff that I've smoked, the stuff that Michael's, the stuff that we've seen in this industry. I've had every grower that I've ever talked to is the best grower. Every single one. My stuff is the best.
Yeah, they're a master grower.
I got the tank, and it's just like, you guys, and I've seen the rookie growers that come in with their first crop and they don't know how to cure it, and it smells like hay, and and then you got the guys that are just doing it down to a science, and it's just there's so many steps, you guys. So once you get your license, get your team, put together your team, and that's it, man. Don't just trust yourself in putting together your team. Talk to experts, man. Talk to other people. Get me on the phone with your grower. Say, hey, Karl, what do you think about this guy? Well, guess what? I'm not the best grower, but I know like 50 of them that I work with, and so it's just building that network, you guys. That's kind of the key thing. And I guess lastly is, attending these trade shows, seeing the latest, greatest technology that's out there, trying to think about how you're going to use automation to run your business. Automation to keep your temperature in your room, to do your crops, things like that. So it's a tough one, you guys. It really is. Licensing is a tough deal.
If I can just take a moment, we've got quite a decent audience going on right here, and I'd just like to thank Jimmy Smurs. Joined us. We've got Camino, as always. Thank you, Camino. Jenny Gold's in here. We're going to talk about Jenny Gold here in a bit. So, and Ox, thank you for tuning in. Bryn Gone, our sprint car driver from Pennsylvania, who's what a great voice for the industry. And Renee and Marie Peel from High End Transportation's tuned in, and Vicky Wilson Conley. Joined in from, we know her from lots of stuff, Curtis. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to be talking about a couple more things coming up. One is Jenny Gold, and also I want to talk about Amendment X a little bit before we get off today.
Absolutely.
So anyway, thanks for that quick break. I would also like to throw in some advice that I will give to people who want to be involved in the industry. No matter what you're doing, I would say that a good step one is to go find the nonprofits and get involved there. Go start helping the nonprofits involved with the industry. And in working with those nonprofits, you're going to meet a lot of the people who really care, and also along the way, a lot of the business owners who really care. Yeah. And that's a really good way to get involved. So
great advice. Well, Karl, what's up with that $60 million sale there in Florida the other day? Can you believe that? A license, $60 million.
I hope they're going to buy a lot of other licenses too, because that's it's an interesting play, man. It's like growing pineapples in Alaska. Florida is not the best terroir for growing cannabis. There's a lot of places that are going to be able to do it cheaper. And when this market gets nationalized and interstate commerce is legal, you're going to buy weed from Florida, you're going to buy weed from California. I'm going to get stuff from California, Where are you going to buy your wine from? I'm buying it from California. I want a good Napa.
You mean not like Okeechobee wine? Come on. Come on.
It's all about terroir, And that's the big thing, too, is like when you're looking at the market as it's going to grow, as big companies get in and they start growing on a huge scale, how are you going to compete, us little guys? And so that really is something that, you have to start thinking about as you get into the industry. As I say, specialize in something, do it great. have a unique recipe, have a unique product that you can sell to a big company, or that they're gonna, license your product. I mean, have that plan, you guys. Can you guys excuse me? I'm just gonna run off for 1 second.
Yeah.
That's one of the fun things of working from home. I got a guy knocking on my door.
I heard your doorbell ring.
Yeah.
No
Come on
problem.
back. Guys, hold on.
Well,
Thanks, man.
while he's gone, how about the MJ BizCon, November 14th, 15th, and 16th? I am looking for that. Not the 50 million booths that I'll have to, go by, and the 20,000 people. The after parties are going to be spectacular. A lot of fun.
MJ BizCon, where's this at?
That's in Las Vegas, November 14th, 15th, and 16th. All kidding aside, I think, if you really want to build your network, that's one of the best shows in the country to do so, but more so during after parties. You meet and you talk during the show, and you get to know the individual after the show. So I'm really excited about that. And then I'm back to CBD, the CBD Expo East this time. I just did Anaheim last month. We'll be in Orlando December 7th and 8th. So a lot of fun happening. I love these events. I like building my alliances and network out there.
And I'm envious.
Oh, come on. You're more than welcome to come.
That
But-
MJ BizCon, that timing's a little difficult.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's
Jenny Gold.
talk about Jenny Gold.
How long have you known Jenny?
I've known Jenny since 2014, I think.
I just met her yesterday. I wonder if she's live right now. No, I've known Jenny for a real long time myself. But she's a great person.
Yeah. So we're trying to raise some money to help Jenny. She was on vacation. I think she lived in California, and she was
Mexico.
She went on a trip to Mexico, and she got bit by a tick, and she got Lyme disease. And we have seen this disease eat up our poor Jenny over the years.
Severely.
And she's moved to Colorado and got involved in the cannabis industry, naturally looking for relief from the symptoms of Lyme disease. And, I'm sure it's helped her to a certain extent, but it's not. She needs to go see some medical specialists, and she needs to get out to see a doctor in San Francisco, I think.
Yeah.
And she needs to get there. She needs to get back. None of that's cheap. And she's really just beloved in the Colorado cannabis industry. Everybody knows Jenny Gold. Everybody has a reason to thank Jenny Gold for something, some connection she's made, 100%. Some thoughtful thing that she's done for them. And so we've got a link to her GoFundMe page in the text of this post. And then also, if you go to teamjennygold.com, there's a silent auction. I believe that's where it's
looking for other companies willing to donate product
or
services.
Yeah.
We can auction off.
We're donating product to auction off. Every little bit helps.
It sure does.
This is a tight-knit industry, and it's Jenny Gold, folks. Let's help
Jenny Gold. So please go to her GoFundMe page. Her insurance doesn't cover this, and she, like Travis just said, she's one of the most loved individuals in our industry. Yeah, and just a breath of fresh air. Over the last 5 years, it's devastating to witness what's happening with her. Unfortunately, I think she's got the worst side effects from Lyme disease I've ever seen. Yeah. So
and potentially side effects from treatments of Lyme disease.
True.
It's true. But I know most of us are small business owners, and everybody's got something to donate to, and there's all these conferences that cost all this money, and you want to support all these causes, but it's Jenny Gold, y'all. So come on. Anyway, so
thank you.
Karl is back, and we're going to get back on the...
Hey, all good, buddy. All good. Just another question or two.
Yeah,
Travis.
Of course.
Wait. I'm screwing with there. I think I got that transition down. Yay. I had you on mute, so in case you hit, Mother Nature called while you were answering your door as well. So you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Especially on the Tuesday show, you got a lot of friends who just don't naturally wear shirts when they get on Facebook.
Are you talking about Mark out of Jamaica? You know Mark Santiago, don't you?
I do, man.
You know what?
He's in Vegas. Speaking of Vegas, yes.
Oh, he's going to be with you in Vegas?
Yes.
Oh, great. Yeah, yeah. I had him on the show.
Speaking about meeting homies, like I met Mark at a conference in Vegas, you know, and you know, I was like, I met him in an elevator, and like, hey man, here, try my vapor pen. Like this is like 4 or 5 years ago, back when they were first coming out, and he's like, whoa, what is this? And you know, he's a guy from down in Miami, and now he's got a license in Jamaica. You know, and now we're hanging out at the conference. And I'm hanging out with Rory Gould, from Michigan, and all these guys that I've met from all over the country that are my cannabis homies. So yeah, it's gonna be an awesome show in Vegas.
It's going to be fantastic. I've got so many friends. Oh my God, coming! It's just it's going to be a lot of fun. But back to the show. Well, that is the show. But
how do people reach out to you if they want more?
There we go.
They want to contact you to sell you some. To get you to donate for the policeman's fund, or to sell you, or if the IRS perhaps is going to have you arrested by your local sheriff because of
no, the IRS and I, we speak every week. So
do you really? So when you get the calls from number VO197723999444 and you pick it up, that's the guy that calls me and says, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that brings up a great point.
So for legitimate business inquiries.
Yeah. If you're going to get into this business, you have to do it right. You have to document everything, and you are going to get audited by the IRS. So just facts of life, understand it. And if you're a good player, if you don't do anything wrong, then you've got nothing to worry about. But I've been under audit from the IRS from the last 4 years straight.
Every year? Do they close each year out and they come back?
As soon as they close out 1 year, they go for the next one.
Wow.
Lucky.
Lucky guy.
Lucky guy.
It's giving me a chance to make really good friends with my attorney. Rachel Gillette down in Denver, as a matter of
fact. Nice. I heard a lot of good things about her.
Not like the reason why I want to have a friend in the cannabis business, not one that I have to pay to talk to, but she's a sweetheart. She's awesome. Her firm does great work. So,
nice.
It's just, being in the business, you guys. So, if someone wants to get a hold of me, Karl Keich, both with the K. Most people probably, maybe you're in front of a computer, you can write it down, Karl Keich. Founder, if you Google Seattle Medical Marijuana, or if you Google Pot Stop, that's the name of my dispensary on Leafly. You can find me there, or Canna Consulting Group. That's a really easy one too, cannaconsultinggroup.com. And you can certainly find me there. I usually return calls and emails within a day or two. Try and treat this like a business. And man, that's I've got a lot of advice to give. But the most important advice is just have someone teach you how to ride the bike. Don't try and figure out how to do it yourself. I mean, you're going to figure it out eventually, but you want to prevent the nicks and scrapes and bruises along the way if you can. So that's It's listen to these guys. You guys are doing something right. You're listening to these guys. So
I don't know if that qualifies, but what the hell?
Right?
We'll take it.
Nice, gentlemen.
Well, Karl, thanks so much for being on. It's been too long since we sat down and had a drink. I think it was last time in Fort Lauderdale. Me, you, Michael Feldenkrais, and
yes, it was. Yeah. That was a fun little show that we went to down there.
Yes, it was.
And so, I'll be in Boston as well in February, and Vegas in November, and back and forth in between them. Yeah,
nice.
My flyer miles. So, Michael, nice to see you. Travis, very nice to meet you, man. And good luck with the CBD stuff. Thank you for doing what you're doing, because let's talk about whole plant. Let's talk about full spectrum. I mean, that's the stuff that we need for our patients. That's the only stuff that works. Forget the junk from China and India. I mean,
amen.
Denver, Colorado hemp. Yes.
And
you guys are killing it. And that's I don't know how we got the Department of Agriculture to certify that stuff as hemp, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, we'll have you on again. We'll definitely have you on again. Thanks so much for coming on our show.
Definitely, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karl. Take care,
Bye-bye.
buddy. See you in Vegas. Bye-bye.
So with Colorado hemp, we have Amendment X coming up.
Okay. What's that?
Amendment X Proposition X. It would remove the definition of hemp from the Colorado Constitution.
Okay.
It would, right now, in 2014, Colorado amended its constitution to say that it's okay to grow hemp and that hemp is 0.3% Delta 9 THC cannabis sativa, which is in line with what we expect from the farm bill. So groups, including a lot of people who I think have a lot of respect in the industry, who I have a lot of respect for, including Cindy Sovine came on the show to talk about it. She's one of our chief lobbyists for the industry at the state level. And I know that Matt, Karl Keich, next time I see Matt, I'm going to ask how to pronounce his last name, from Veterans for Natural Rights, is opposed to it. And I've seen a lot. It looks like I don't know if it's split down the middle, like I've read some people say or not. But so the risk is that if we vote to remove it from the Constitution, let's start with the risk of not doing it. If we don't do it, then it is possible that the federal government could define hemp as 1%, say, a higher level of THC. And then Colorado would have it written into its constitution that we could only grow 0.3%. Meanwhile, people in Kansas or wherever are growing 1% hemp. And that would give them a distinct competitive advantage
100%.
over Colorado. The risk that if we do remove it from the state constitution and it goes wrong for us is that there would be no state constitutional protection for hemp. And there's really nothing that would prevent if the legislators all got together and said, you know what, okay, that's good. Now we're just going to redefine hemp in Colorado as 0% THC. Right? They could crush the whole industry.
It would be over.
So, and there's, I'm on the fence about it. When I had Cindy in here talking about it, I was all in favor of it, and I talked to Morris Beagle from Colorado Hemp Company and from NOCO Hemp Expo, Southern Hemp,
very well respected.
Yeah, very individual. And I've
what did he
listened
say?
He is in favor of it. He thinks that
of changing it.
Yeah, taking it out of the state constitution. And I talked to him just on Sunday about this, and but I'm telling, I could see it. It's all about the timing. The thing is, we can only amend the state constitution. This is our last shot before 2022. So they're trying to. And
it has to be done by November?
Yeah, it's on. If I've received my mail-in ballot already, so
I'm a Florida resident, so I received that. I haven't made the big switch. I think I will in January, though. I really don't have any plan. I don't have any plans on going back to Florida outside of staying on the beautiful beaches. Visiting family and friends.
You're not going to start your Okeechobee hemp farm?
No. Okeechobee, Florida. Actually, it's a fun little town. Great fishing if you like fishing. Bass, bluegill. All kinds.
I don't know.
As we digress. Hey, you wanted to speak about one other thing, didn't you?
No, I think that's it. I wanted to talk about Jenny Gold.
Yeah.
Jenny Gold. If you go to teamjennygold.com, there's a link to her GoFundMe page. Let's help get Jenny well. Hi, Amber. Thanks for joining, Amber Wan.
Thanks, Amber.
Yeah, I think that was it, really.
Well, great show. Karl's incredible, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
You know what? He's willing to give anyone free advice over the phone on a call. He's like an encyclopedia of information about our industry, the do's and don'ts. One of the most respected guys in our industry. You can tell. You just met him.
Yeah.
He's straight up honest. He's a good guy. He's the handshake kind of guy, the way we were brought up. Yeah, but like he said, unfortunately today, get things signed. Get it done right before you get into any type of relationship in business. Yeah. I've seen a lot of investors who invested together or friends who opened up dispensaries or cultivations together, and now they're not even on speaking terms, and the courts ended whatever relationship they would have had afterwards. So be careful how you what you do in this industry,
and do good things.
Yeah, great show.
Cool.
Great show.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yep.
And we'll
see you next week.
Next week.